Cassie, what now?" Still jumpy from the ear-splitting thunder, Brenda looked toward the electric pole. A man stood just outside the basement's sliding glass door. Tall, thin, dark. Another burst of zigzag light brightened the sky, and she saw his beard and long hair and dripping pants. He was staring at her. "Steve!" she cried out. Realizing instantly that of course her husband wasn't home, she ran for the stairs and grabbed the rail. Falling, stumbling, scraping her shins, Brenda catapulted herself up to the main floor of the house. "Oh, Lord, help me, Lord, Lord, please help me," she prayed out loud as she felt her way through the living room in the dark. Had she locked the basement door earlier today? No, she'd pushed back the glass and pulled the screen across to let in fresh air and ventilate the paint fumes. What if the man was inside already? What if he came after her? Was that him following her up the stairs? Brenda couldn't see a thing as she lurched across the tiled foyer. Just as she reached for the deadbolt, someone pounded on the large double-pane window set into the insulated steel front door. It was him. She could just make out his shape, towering and unkempt, on the front porch. She slammed the bolt and fell back against the wall, sure she was going to be sick. Where was the cell phone? How soon could the sheriff get to Deepwater Cove? 8 minutes, someone had told her once, just long enough for a person to die. "Knock, knock, who's there?" The voice outside the front door was deep, male, and eerily loud. Though the thermal window in the door kept out the weather, it certainly didn't buffer the sound of the man's words as he yelled to her, "It's me, Cody!" Brenda shut her eyes and swallowed. She didn't know anyone named Cody, especially not a tall, bearded serial strangler who roamed quiet lakeside neighborhoods on rainy nights. She should run down to the basement again, pull the sliding glass door shut, and try to lock it. "I can see you right there," the man called over another roll of thunder. "Hi, I'm Cody." Brenda pressed her back against the foyer wall and began to slide away from the front door. Where was Steve when she needed him? Off showing a house to someone in the middle of a spring thunderstorm. He would come home with a big sail under his belt and find his wife lying on the foyer, murdered. "Do you have any chocolate cake?" the man outside asked, tapping more softly on the window. "I'm hungry, and I like chocolate cake. A lot. Triangles are okay, but I like squares better because you get more ice in that way." Brenda thought her cell phone was probably in her purse. She couldn't remember the last time she'd called anyone, or gone shopping for that matter. Life had been so empty lately. She hadn't had a reason to pick up her purse in days, but she always kept it on a low table in the foyer. She took a sideways step along the wall. "Can you hear me? Because I'm asking about chocolate cake." The man tapped on the window again. "Because I'm wet and hungry. My daddy told me that anyone might give you food, but only a Christian would give you chocolate cake, too." Her heart thumping half out of her chest, Brenda glanced at the window in the front door. The man had cupped both hands against the glass and was peering at her through them. "No!" She shook her head furtively, unwilling to look at him but unable to stop herself. "Go away!" "Are you a Christian?" he asked. The question held a plaintive note. Another flash of lightning made his long, tangled hair glow. He had blue eyes and filthy teeth. "I'm hungry." She shook her head again. "Go! Shoo! Get away from my door!" "Are you a Christian?" he asked. One more time. "Are you a Christian?" he asked. The question held a plaintive note. Another flash of lightning made his long, tangled hair glow. He had blue eyes and filthy teeth. "I'm hungry." She shook her head again. "Go! Shoo! Get away from my door!" "Okay." He drawled out the word in a Missouri backwoods accent. "Okay." As the man's shoulders sagged and he turned away, Brenda lunged for the corner of the foyer. In the darkness, she knocked over the hall table, discovering her purse wasn't there, and curled up in a ball on the frigid tile floor. This was just like Steve, she fumed, leaving her alone so he could show off one of his listings. They rarely ate dinner together anymore. He never seemed to have time for her, and when he was home, all Steve could talk about was closing costs and termite inspections and septic tanks. Brenda hugged her bent legs and rested her forehead on her knees. For what seemed like the 100th time,